Hi Gemini, welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm doing your love reading for the week ahead and I've already pulled the oracle cards, so we'll get straight into it. First card you got is Chaos and Conflict, and this is maybe about that you're currently kind of feeling a bit unsettled, to say the least. There could be either some sort of miscommunication or misunderstandings. There could just be, clashing personalities or different expectations, or even just like an internal conflict where maybe one of you or both of you are like unsure what you guys truly want. But it kind of also just is a reminder that, when chaos comes, it usually kind of strips away any sort of like illusions or anything like that. So sometimes conflict can reveal what's been hidden, and it helps build something more authentic afterwards. With the new moon in Leo here, it says confidence is key to your success. And I just want to say, when I was shuffling these cards and trying to get a card out from this moon oracle deck, I literally could not, a card wouldn't come out. I had to like shuffle it about 3 or 4 times to get something out. So I kind of like got the idea that I feel like you're making someone work for something. So if there has been some sort of arguments between the two of you, like you're making them like work for it, that they're not, an apology's not going to cut it this time. You need to beg, or like you need to bring me flowers, or you need to show me, So that's the kind of energy that I got from that, when just from the shuffling part of it. But it is actually a very empowering message, So maybe rather than just chasing reassurance or waiting for someone else to make the next move, maybe, you need to kind of get to the point where you actually just know your worth. Maybe you already do, hopefully you do. And just kind of speak honestly about how you feel, and don't dim yourself to kind of keep someone else comfortable, So if you've been doubting yourself in any way, this card is just saying like, that your confidence will kind of change the energy. And also with new moons, it also is about like fresh beginnings. So it can also mean that, there's an opportunity for a new chapter in love, but only when you actually lead with like self-belief, And then we have the brown bear spirit, and it says take time out, and this one came out in the reverse. So basically it's kind of saying that you need more, well, actually not that it's saying the opposite, actually, that you don't need more rest, It's kind of saying that maybe you've been withdrawn or maybe emotionally hiding for too long, and you need to be kind of getting out there and taking action. It could also just be that maybe you're overthinking a situation instead of actually taking the action. Or it could just be that, that you're pushing forward without properly like processing your emotions. So obviously just take what resonates for you, but I feel like it's just asking you to find some sort of balance, don't isolate, but also don't kind of like react impulsively, and just act from some sort of like stability, and don't let frustration or fear get in the way. So I'm doing things a bit differently. I'm pulling all your cards, including the clarifiers, all in one shot before I talk about them. So if you want to skip that part, just skip ahead. So let's see, what is Gemini's feelings for their person? We have Judgment, that's Scorpio energy. What are Gemini's person's feelings for Gemini? We have the King of Pentacles, that's Earth sign energy, so Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Okay, so how do they view Gemini? We have Death card, that's Scorpio energy. What is the blockage this week, or the challenge? We have the Ace of Wands in the reverse. What's their next intentions towards Gemini? Okay, oh, too many, but I've got one. We've got the Six of Pentacles. Okay, then what are their next actions towards Gemini? We have the Eight of Wands in the reverse. Okay, what am I doing now? What's the outcome this week? We have the Queen of Cups in the reverse, and then what is the advice? We have the Three of Pentacles. Then let's get you some clarifiers. Okay, this is for Gemini. Okay, so let's see, what is Judgment? We have the Seven of Wands. What is the King of Pentacles? We have the Two of Pentacles. Okay. What is the Death card? We have Judgment. Okay. What is the Ace of Wands in the reverse? We have the Star card. That's Aquarius energy. Also more Scorpio over there with the Judgment card. Okay, what is the Six of Pentacles? We have the Six of Swords in the reverse, double sixes. What's the Eight of Wands in the reverse? We have Death in the reverse, small Scorpio energy. What is the Queen of Cups? We have the Queen of Swords. And what is the Three of Pentacles? We have the Seven of Pentacles. Okay. So your feelings for your person, Gemini, is Judgment and the Seven of Wands. So you could be going through like a big awakening when it comes to this connection, and you're seeing things more clearly, and maybe reaching a point where you know that there's a decision that has to be made. You know, you could feel like either this relationship deserves another chance, but maybe you're also aware that things can't continue as they have been. You know, it could just be that there's a big argument, or things, you know, the dynamic between the two of you needs some sort of healing. And with the Seven of Wands, it just shows that maybe you're a bit guarded at the moment, and maybe you feel like you've had to defend yourself or fight for this connection, or protect your heart after maybe some sort of previous appointments. But yeah, you definitely still care deeply, and you know, there's no longer a kind of willingness to settle or just, you know, give endlessly without kind of seeing the effort in return. You know, you definitely care about them, but you're protecting yourself. But you know that something has to change moving forward. Then we have the King of Pentacles clarified by the Two of Pentacles for your person's feelings towards you. So they definitely see, you know, long-term potential with you. The King of Pentacles is definitely someone who like values commitment and loyalty and like building a stable future together. But the Two of Pentacles is kind of, you know, maybe that they're struggling to kind of balance everything in their life, and they could be juggling, you know, responsibilities or emotions, or you know, work, or you know, other pressures. It doesn't matter what it is, but it just, you know, makes them feel a bit uncertain about how to move forward consistently. So you know, their feelings are definitely genuine, but maybe they're just trying to find balance before they actually fully invest. Then we have the Death card clarified by Judgment. That's double Scorpio energy. So basically, it could be that, you know, that they don't really see things returning how they once were, and they feel like something has to end for something better to begin. So, you know, it's just, sorry, excuse me. It could be that it's not, you know, that it's the end of the relationship, or it could just be that it's the end of some sort of unhealthy cycles or poor communication, or like old wounds or something like that. So Judgment is, you know, about that, you know, that there's a belief here that the connection is meant to kind of teach you guys something important and some sort of important lesson. And the Death card is about major like transformation, like we need to change this situation. Or it could be that there's like a decision that's made to end the connection altogether, and that decision is definitely coming from you with that Judgment as your feelings. So we have the Ace of Wands in the reverse, and we have the Star card here, and this is your challenges this week. So I feel like there's a lack of action here, which is probably what the biggest challenge is. You know, like someone wants to heal this and believes that things like could probably improve between the two of you, but there's like a hesitation, or like a delay, or just uncertainty. And I feel like it could be on their side with the Two of Pentacles there, you know, like preventing some sort of, I don't know, forward movement. And the Star is about, you know, hope and that there's like healing, and I don't know, there could be like difficulty like turning hope into action. So maybe like there's a want here for things to improve, but maybe struggling to actually make the change that's needed. Then we have the Six of Pentacles with the Six of Swords in the reverse, and this is their intention. So they do definitely want balance and fairness and equal effort, and they definitely don't want like any sort of one-sided love. They definitely want to see, you know, reciprocity and honesty and someone who meets them halfway. But with the Six of Swords reversed, it kind of seems like they're not ready to kind of walk away emotionally. Even if they've tried to move on, part of them is still like emotionally connected to you. So basically they want to kind of restore balance and not give up, but they, you know, they need both people, you and them, to contribute equally. And then we have the Eight of Wands in reverse, clarified by the Death in reverse as their next actions. So basically there is movement that's coming with the Eight of Wands in reverse, but maybe it's delayed or moving very slowly. And then, you know, the Death card in reverse is, there's a resistance here of change. So it could be that you know, someone wants to reach out, but like they you know, they're allowing some sort of old habits to be that they're not releasing it, and they're kind of repeating the same patterns over again. So yeah, there's just like a lack of change here, or momentum. And then we have the Queen of Cups in reverse and the Queen of Swords, clarifying that as the outcome. So basically it seems like, you know, that someone's kind of allowing their emotions to control the situation. And now at the end of the week, basically, I feel like your emotions, you know, aren't going to get in the way. You're going to basically think with your head over your heart, but also your heart still will be involved in this as well. Like you still will allow it to have its say, but like the head's going to have the final say. And the Queen of Swords is just about, you know, stronger boundaries and honest conversations, and you know, choosing self-respect and making sure that like I said, that the boundaries are set. So it doesn't, you know, always mean that there's going to be a separation here, but it does show you that maybe you're becoming like emotionally wiser and just refusing to accept less than what you deserve, basically. And then we have at the, and it's funny because like I said, I was getting that like you kind of making them work for it, and that Queen of Cups in the reverse and the Queen of Swords is like, no, you come in correct or you don't come in at all. Okay, and then we have the Three of Pentacles and the Seven of Pentacles as your advice. So the advice to you is to remember that, you know, healthy relationships are built and they're not rushed, you know. So if you're both willing to work together and communicate openly and invest consistently, and you know, the connection can kind of grow. But if, for example, you guys aren't putting in the effort, then it may not work, you know. So the Seven of Pentacles is just about also just being patient, and just pay attention to, you know, if this effort is actually mutual. So and the Three of Pentacles is about teamwork, you know. So it's not one person carrying the relationship, it's both of you building slowly together and valuing each other, and working together. So I'm going to pull some oracle cards for you now. Again, I'm going to pull all the oracle cards and then talk you through them. So skip ahead if you don't want to see that. Okay, so what are Gemini's feelings for their person? We have confessions, unveiling, coming clean, and messages. And then at the bottom of the deck, we have pain, apprehensive, afraid, and cautious. Okay, and then what are your person's feelings towards you, Gemini? We have loyalty, trusting, reliability, and believing. It's very similar to this King of Pentacles. And, at the bottom of the deck, we have emotional storm, turmoil, unstable, and affected. Okay, and then let's get some romance angels. Okay, what does Gemini need to know? Their love life this week. We have express your love. Go ahead and make the romantic gesture. What else? Okay. We have worth waiting for. Divine timing is at work in your love life. We have release your ex. The time has come to clear your energy. And then bottom of the deck, we have reconciliation. Someone from your past is returning to your life. And then we have some messages from your person. This is usually for people in separation, but I'll try to explain it as best as I can for all people. What would Gemini's person say to Gemini? We both know I'm not the one for you. What else? We have, I bury myself in work to forget you. Anything else? We have, I look for you everywhere. And bottom of the deck, we have, I know I was a distraction from your pain. Okay. We have confessions and pain as your feelings. So I feel like you're kind of moving towards honesty. You could have spoken up already, or maybe not. But maybe you just kind of no longer want to hide what you actually feel. So there is definitely like a want for openness and truth, and Gemini is very much about talking and truth, and just finally saying what's been left unsaid. So, you know, it doesn't always mean that there has to be some sort of like dramatic declaration, but obviously it could be that you want to kind of admit that you still care, or say something that you were disappointed or hurt about something, or maybe you want to apologize, or just want some sort of honest conversation. And with pain at the bottom of the deck, it's kind of showing that you do have a lot of pain going on in your heart, and you do want honesty, but you're also protecting yourself. You know, maybe there's past experiences or rejection or disappointment that just kind of made you cautious about, you know, opening your heart completely. And then with their feelings towards you, we have loyalty and emotional storm. So I feel like, you know, it's kind of saying that they still see you as someone that's like dependable and important, whether you guys are together or separated. It's just like, you know, there's some sort of like uncertain place that you guys are in, and this person is still kind of very trustworthy, and like they're still loyal to you even if you guys aren't together, and there's definitely some sort of respect towards you too. And then there's also trust for you as well, like they trust you too, you know. But you know, it could be that they're loyal, it could be that they believe in you two being together, it could be that they see you as just someone that's worth investing in, you know. And with the bottom of the deck being emotional storm, it's kind of showing me that like even with the loyalty, underneath the surface, maybe they just, you know, they're anything but calm at the moment. So it could be that they're overwhelmed, or they're confused about their emotions, or I don't know, just struggling with everything that's happening around the relationship at the moment. And then we have the romance angels here. So with express your love, basically it's kind of encouraging some sort of open communication between the two of you. So if there have been feelings that's been hidden, or you know, anything that's been left unsaid, it's just, you know, about expressing your true emotions to each other, and maybe that can kind of create an opportunity for maybe healing or clarity. So I don't know, if you're single, don't hide that you like someone. If they catch your attention, you know, if you're actually with someone, then just make sure that you guys are honestly communicating with each other, and it will kind of deepen the connection that you guys have. And if you're separated, maybe just, you know, a heartfelt conversation can bring some sort of clarity, to bring closure or reconciliation. And then worth waiting for is basically about divine timing. So obviously, you know, there goes again, that divine timing. But you know, it's like not everything kind of unfolds when we want it to. And sometimes people need individual growth before you can kind of move forward in the relationship in a healthier way. So obviously it doesn't mean just for like wait forever. Sorry, I was about to swear there. But it does kind of, you know, say that you need to like allow events to kind of unfold naturally and not force anything. And then with release your ex here, you know, it could mean that you do actually need to release your ex, or it could just mean, you know, releasing an old pattern, or letting go of resentment, or I don't know, healing some sort of past betrayals, or just leaving behind a relationship that, you know, with the patterns that doesn't serve you, or the relationship itself. If it is about an ex, it could mean that like there's some sort of unresolved emotions from the past that you need to like address before you guys can actually fully move forward. And then obviously with reconciliation here at the bottom of the deck, this is, you know, reconnecting after some sort of distance, after separation, you know, and reopening communication again, or like healing some sort of misunderstandings, and just someone actually just returning, whether that's emotionally or physically. But next to release your ex, you know, it kind of could mean that if there is some sort of reconciliation that does happen, it needs to be built on like a new foundation and not be repeating the same dynamics that they were before. So then, sorry, not this one. Then we have, we both know I'm not the one for you, right? So it could mean that there's some sort of insecurity here. So maybe they feel like they don't deserve you, or it could mean that they've kind of caused too much damage, or they feel like you deserve someone better just in general. Like they feel like they need to be better for you. And then I bury myself in work to forget you. Usually it's just they distracting themselves, and it's very familiar with this King of Pentacles and Two of Pentacles there as well. You know, they also speak about kind of balancing responsibilities and being, you know, focused on, I don't know, some sort of practical things in their life. So yeah, I feel like maybe they avoid processing their emotions, and they just throw themselves into work or their responsibilities, just kind of avoidant energy there. And then with I look for you everywhere, it kind of just means that you're on their mind a lot, you know, that through everyday life they're kind of reminded of you, maybe wondering what you're doing, or just feeling your absence, I guess, in unexpected moments. And then the bottom of the deck here is I know that I was a distraction from your pain. And this is just, you know, maybe that they kind of feel that either the relationship kind of started in a difficult time, or that maybe one person kind of sees that they were like part of someone else's healing journey type of thing, like a rebound, I guess, or feels that way. And I don't know, maybe there's just a regret here that there's some sort of deeper issues or wounds that weren't really addressed when you guys were together. So yeah, so that is what I have for you guys, Gemini. I hope you found a message that helped, and I'll see you guys again soon. Take care.